In today's economic storm, people's retirement accounts are being devastated. Consumers are searching for a safe place to put their money. Are you feeling the same? If you are, please get ready to listen and learn about a new concept that will give you financial security and peace of mind. Now, here is the host of Become the Banker, certified financial planner and award-winning author, Joseph Quijano.
Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Become the Banker show this morning. I just want you to know that we are really excited to share with you the second part of the show that we began a couple of weeks ago, which is entitled Planning to Have a Successful, and I'm talking about a very successful financial year in 2021. I know, from the conversations that I have had with my clients, and I'm sure, Jordan, you have too with your clients, 2020 has been a devastating year for most people. And it doesn't have to be like that. I like to leave you I like to actually start with a thought in mind that the past, whatever happened in the past, that does not mean that doesn't have the same thing is going to happen in the future. So the past does not equal the future. The past does not equal the future. So whatever we can do to learn from the past, which is in 2020, and I'm just talking about finances right now, but it could apply to all facets of your life. But whatever happened in 2020 to you, and you know that it's been a devastating year for a lot of people. What did you learn from it? What was it that you can actually take away from that experience and make it a learning experience to go into 2021 with a totally different mindset? And not only a mindset, but with a totally different attitude that nothing is going to hold you back to have a fantastic 2021. And I'm going to say this to you. That's my mindset. And how about you, Jordan? Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're spot on with that. We got to get past what's happened in the past and move forward with the ability to allow new things to happen and allow hopefully positive things to come into our mindsets. So, absolutely.
That is right. And one thing that amazes me the most, and I've been reading a lot about different people and how they have achieved fantastic results in 2020. Think about that. People that were able to think out of the box. And people have made more money in 2020 by actually redirecting their attitude and their efforts into something else that was really in demand in 1920. Think about that. So, here's an analogy that I want to make to you right now. When you fly a plane, if you're a pilot and you encounter, or you see on the radar that there's a storm coming in, very close to where you're flying into, what does the pilot do? They don't go right through the storm. They deviate, they turn and go around the storm, right? So to me, it has been an amazing learning experience to meet people, to talk to people that they had a career in 2020 that was actually devastated by the pandemic. And they were able to switch gears and actually get into a different industry altogether and made a lot of money. I'm thinking about a person in particular that she was in corporate world, making good money. She got furloughed, then she got laid off because the business was not doing well. You know what she did? She was able to make face masks. Think about that. Face masks. And she was able to market those face masks all over the country. And for working from home, she made more money in 2020 than she did in her previous job. That's because she was able to deviate, to go around the storm. And you know what? She made it. So I want you to think about this while we're talking about this topic today, because we can, without a doubt, achieve financial greatness in 2021. 2021 is a brand new year. So it's really up to us to change our financial course. And I'm going to be really realistic with you. If you don't do this, if you don't change where you're going, you're not going to achieve anything better than what you have in the past. So I'm saying this to you again. The past does not have to equal the future. The only way that the past could equal your future would be if you just sit still and don't do anything differently. So with that, we've been talking about what does it take to really achieve wonderful results in a brand new year. And to me, either the end of the year like December or even January, it's a perfect time for planning. This is that time of the year that you should be sitting down with yourself and really do some soul searching. I want you to write this down if you can, please. Those of you listening at home, or those of you listening through our podcast, I want you to sit down and do this simple exercise. But I want you to really, really be realistic, okay? I want you to sit down, take a sheet of paper, or you know what? I like to do journals, and take a pen and really find out where you are now. You can put down a heading. Where am I financially? Where am I financially at this date? Where am I? And be realistic. Where are you financially? I want you to list, are you living paycheck to paycheck? Or do you have some money left over each and every month? But you just don't really know where the money goes. I mean, we meet people like that all the time. So I want you to sit down and just write down, where am I at this point in my life financially? Now, once you do that, what I want you to put down underneath that, another heading, please, okay? Where would I like to be by December 31st of 2021? So here's the first question, okay? Again, this is very, very important, because if you don't know where you are right now, and you don't know where you want to be by the end of this year, you know what? Good luck to you. Nothing's going to change. So you need to figure out, again, the first question you want to ask yourselves right now, or when you're sitting down at home with no distractions, turn off the TV, turn off the radio, go someplace where you can sit down and be by yourself and ask yourselves, where am I financially today? And be truthful, be real. And then the next question would be, where do I want to be? Where would I want to be financially by December 31st of 2021? And you know what? You don't have to exaggerate. Be real. I mean, if you were used to making 60,000 a year before, you don't want to put down that you're going to be making $100 million by the end of this year. I mean, that's not realistic. Be realistic. All right. So this is very important. Those steps are very important. And then what I want you to really do as the third step, I want you to really close your eyes and do this exercise. I want you to close your eyes and tell yourselves, or write it down if you want to, What does financial security look like to you? What is your definition of financial security? What does it look like? Now, some people, when we do this exercise with our clients, and I meet with them, I used to meet with them face to face, but now we do Zoom meetings with them. But I mean, normally, they would close their eyes literally in front of me and they would say, financial security would look like having absolutely no debt and having many or several streams of income coming in, so I don't have to work anymore. Now, some people may say, you know what? Really, financial security means that, if I want to work, I can because I like it, not because I have to. See, that's a big difference, isn't it? Having to go to work because you have to, or going to work because you really want to, no matter how old you get to be. So the third question should be, and close your eyes and really dream, see in your mind's eye, what does financial security really looks like to you? And everybody's definition, by the way, it's different. There's no right or wrong answer. All right? There's no right or wrong answer. So feel free and really express what you really see when you close your eyes. What does financial security look like to you? Write it down. This is very important. That's why, I encourage you not to just get a sheet of paper, but to actually get a journal and write it down, because I want you to go back to the page that you're doing right now many times and revisit that page and go through the exercise. So the first question, because we're getting near our first break, is really, where are you financially at this point in your life? Where are you? Be real. Are you drowning in debt? Or you may not have no debt at all. Put it down. It doesn't matter. There's no right or wrong answer. You just need to know where you are. And then I want you to know where you're going to be going. I mean, let me ask you this. If you were to take a trip, I don't care where you go, either by car, let's say by car. You want to go. I mean, unless you have navigational, even if you have navigational system in your car, it's going to show you where you're going to be going, right? But before we had navigational systems, what did we do? We mapped it out. You need to know where you're going so you can reach your destination. So the first question is your starting point. Where are you right now financially? The second question is, where would you like to be financially in 2021? And put it down by December 31st of 2021. This is my destination financially. Okay? And the third question before we go on break, I want you to really do this exercise. Close your eyes and ask yourselves, what does financial security looks like to me, to you? What does it look like? Put it down. All right? Now, we're very close to the break, but I'm telling you, this information will give you amazing results like it has our clients at the Become the Banker company. So with that in mind, stay tuned with us. We're going to be back in a short time to continue this wonderful journey to make your 2021 the greatest financial year ever, despite, despite this pandemic. I have seen it happen. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back after this short break.
If what you thought to be true about money turned out not to be true, when would you like to know about it? Most of us have been taught wrong about money either by our family or friends. Our school system does not have any curriculum to teach us how money really works and how to make our money grow without risk in any economy. By tuning into Become the Banker radio show with certified financial planner Joseph Quijano, you'll learn the truth about money and strategies to help you grow your money without risk. Are you ready to thrive financially in the economy? Listen for Become the Banker radio show every Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Become the Banker show with certified financial planner Joseph Quijano. To participate in today's show, join our live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also ask or comment by email to joseph@becomethebanker.org or text to 303-880-0887.
Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And at this time, I would like to ask Jordan to kind of chime in on this topic because, Jordan is, what I call a millennial. I'm past that stage of being a millennial many years ago. But the thing is, I think we have, different points of view about really achieving total financial freedom. I can relate to people my age, and this is why we're a family-owned company, by the way. Jordan is in his 30s, and he can relate to the younger generation that is coming on board. The need, they need probably more help than the people in my generation or before. So, Jordan, please, come on board and maybe you can share your thoughts about making 2021 a superb year based on the foundation that we have laid so far on this show.
Yeah. Well, really, I think, millennial or not, to be honest, I think a lot of the same rules kind of apply. I think a lot of times, with that mindset of possibly a millennial, when we are younger, we're not thinking about building wealth or getting into a place of reaching financial goals or setting ourselves up for that security that we're looking for long term in the future because we're just can't see 35, 40 years out. So the problem that I see though is that same feeling carries over no matter what generation you're in because a lot of people that I've met with client wise had that thought maybe when they were in their 20s or 30s and then their 40s came around and they still say I have 20 years, 25 years before I retire, so I'm still got a little bit of time to work on retirement or any of my financial goals and security, and they just keep on kind of procrastinating until it gets closer and closer and closer to when they realize that unfortunately time was the best tool they could have used throughout their whole life here. So when we're talking about financial security, what that looks like to you, it's going to be different for everybody. Just like I could ask anybody, what does a wealthy lifestyle look like to you? We'd get 10, 12, 20, maybe even 100 different answers because everybody has a different viewpoint to what security financially and what wealth looks like for you. So we really want to make sure that the rules that you want to lay to yourself aren't that different. And that's the key thing is you need to be able to make sure to achieve the financial results that you want to look for in 2021. You really have to take down the sheet of paper, like my father mentioned, look at where you are, look at where you were, but look at where you want to go and make sure that no matter where you're at age wise, the best thing you can use is time. And we all know that time is only getting shorter every minute we spend, every second we wait, and every day that keeps on passing. So you need to start now. Nothing's going to change today. Nothing's going to change tomorrow unless you start right now by putting your thoughts down, your goals, and the next steps. So when we talk about, not only just putting about a budget and not only talking about money, but coming off of a hard year like 2020, a lot of people have been discouraged because of such a horrible pandemic, such a horrible year that's probably knocked most of the population off their feet financially, whether they lost a job, whether they, had to change their career kind of, I guess you'd say, rhythm of the day because maybe their kids now are at home and they have to do the homeschooling through the computer. So it's just a lot of different steps that we're not used to. So we all have to adapt, just like any company that made it through 2020 or any business that made it through 2020. They had to adapt, just like we were talking about earlier in the show. So that applies exactly to yourself. You have to be able to adapt yourself. And if you don't adapt, then it's going to be a tough struggle. And by only being able to adapt, you just need to look at where the problem lies. If it's where you've racked up a lot of debt through 2020 because not only of stimulus checks not really being enough to survive on, or maybe you weren't getting the full paycheck that you were used to, or you didn't get that bonus that you thought you were going to get to help pay off the credit card debts that you accrued from the years before. Whatever the case may be, debt is a huge issue for everybody. And whether it's a small debt, a big debt, or just, kind of a middle of the road debt, debt is debt. You're losing money every day. So I always like to talk with my clients and make sure to put the right steps in place. You got to look at putting all of your debts down in one area. Not like your goals, like we talked about, where you want to be financially and where you want to set 2021 up. You got to start with a clean slate. And by starting with a clean slate, you got to financially put all of the goals down with listing all of your debts that are weighing you down, that you're losing money to, the interest rate on those debts, the minimum payment that's needed on those debts, and list them down in order. And then if you're paying a little bit extra, put that on there as well. Having this in front of you is going to be a true kind of schedule to pay off. And there's a lot of theories out there of how you can pay debt off, whether it's, the snowball approach where you snowball debt by paying off the lowest balance, apply that minimum payment or payment you're making to the second balance. And as you keep on paying each one, you keep on adding those balances together to pay the third debt off. Take the three payments you were making to the fourth debt, and so on and so forth. Or there's the other approach where people call it the avalanche approach or the avalanche debt, where you start with the highest interest rate. Maybe you don't care so much about balance on the debt, but you care more about the interest rate because you're getting charged 30% on one of these credit cards and 15 on another one and 12 on another one. So a lot of people say, let's start with the highest interest and kind of work our way down just like an avalanche. So having these approaches of writing all your debts down, this is the first step you need to do to have a clean slate. And even if you have a mortgage and a vehicle loan and student loans or tax bills, those are all debts. Put them on the piece of paper. when we meet with our clients and what we like to talk about with you guys, whether it's through our webinars or our one-on-ones, we talk about a third approach, and it's called the Become the Banker approach, which really utilizes not only the snowball and the avalanche approach, but we add an extra element into this where you're able to keep your money working for you as you're paying the debts off. And that's what most people appreciate so much about this, is because with the Become the Banker strategy, it helps people get on their feet and start with a fresh slate, just like you need to be doing for 2021. And when you're in the right track from that point forward, you never have to worry about losing money to the banks or the finance companies anymore. And I think that is one of the biggest pieces to anybody's stress in today's world, is money that's going out the door to finance companies, debt companies, mortgages, anywhere. Because when you start to look at how much debt you've accrued and how many minimum payments are needed here, and you're trying to keep your credit score up over there, and it stresses you out. So why not start with a fresh slate, get 2021 in the right direction, and give us a call and or watch one of our videos or our webinars, and we can help show you the correct approach so that you don't just give all the money away, but yet you get to start off with a fresh slate and keep on moving forward one step at a time. So
You know,
that'd be my view. So
no, I think that's wonderful, Jordan. Well said. And you know what? I think the whole idea. I think what you said right now, really resonates not only with people my age, but it should actually resonate with your age, people your age, and everybody else. Because unless we have a set mindset or a set plan, don't you agree? People are going backwards.
right,
I mean, this is the thing that bothers me the most. When was it? Over the weekend, I talked to two people that called in because we do some TV shows, and they have seen us many years in the past. And two people called last week, and they set up an appointment to do a Zoom meeting with me, and or a telephone call with me over the weekend, this past weekend. And the two individuals that I talked to, they said, I want to do this now, you know. And then I showed them, that Become the Banker strategy and the numbers that they would have 10, 15, 20 years from now, a pool of money. And you know what their comment was, Jordan? And I'm sure you heard it many times. It says, I wish that I would have done it. One person said 3 years ago when I first saw you and your son on TV here in Colorado. And the other person said, I wish I would have done it 5 years ago when I saw you guys on TV talking about this. Think about that. I believe, and this has been proven time after time after time, that time is money. Time is money. So if you wait and procrastinate to do something about your finances to make them better, you're not losing just time, just like the two people that I talked to. They lost, one person lost 3 years, another person lost 5 years of their life that they could have started accumulating and actually changing their financial course of action so they could actually be better off in 2021. Now, with that said, I'm going to say that it's never too late to get started. So even if you haven't done anything in the past, believe me, you can change, you can take control and begin to do it now. Don't let any more time pass you by. Now, we're nearing the second break. Stay tuned with us. And I really want to thank all of you, that you're allowing us to come to your home via our podcasts. If you're not listening live right now, I want to thank you so much. And I want you to really follow along and do the exercises because every single podcast that we do, we're trying to build upon that last one. Okay. So with that in mind, stay tuned. We're going to come back for the second half and give you some powerful, powerful strategies and formulas to really design, just like an architect. You're going to be designing your 2021 to be a super, super year. Stay tuned with us, please. We'll be right back.
If what you thought to be true about money turned out not to be true, when would you like to know about it? Most of us have been taught wrong about money either by our family or friends. Our school system does not have any curriculum to teach us how money really works and how to make our money grow without risk in any economy. By tuning into Become the Banker radio show with certified financial planner Joseph Quijano, you'll learn the truth about money and strategies to help you grow your money without risk. Are you ready to thrive financially in the economy? Listen for Become the Banker radio show every Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific.
Investments hit all-time lows, except for Become the Banker. Do you know how much money was lost in those accounts? Not one penny. Become the Banker is a safe, guaranteed return of 4% plus a 1% dividend. In a nutshell, you overfund life insurance on purpose to build a tax-sheltered cash account for retirement and for loaning to yourself along the way and not losing to the stock market. BecomeTheBanker.org. You owe it to yourself to go to the next seminar. BecomeTheBanker.org. Who's laughing now?
This is the Become the Banker show with certified financial planner Joseph Quijano. To participate in today's show, join our live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also ask or comment by email to joseph@becomethebanker.org or text to 303-880-0887.
Well, thank you and welcome back. We're excited to be with you and sharing with you this timely advice about your finances and how to really create a wonderful future, especially in the year 2021. So let me just recap something real quickly for you here because this is really important. Okay, everything begins with the first step that you take. And there's a saying, and I hate to say it because you probably know it by heart. Rome was not built in one day. It all began with the first step. Anything that you do in life begins with the first step. Nothing happens. Nothing will happen. Nothing will change unless you take the first and very powerful step. Once you take it, you have changed your course of action. So are you willing to take the first step? That's my challenge to you. Are you willing to take the first valuable step? I don't care where you are financially at this point. I mean, anybody can do better. Don't you agree? So are you willing to take the first step? If you are, again, I'm going to summarize this. Please go to the office store or the stationery store and get yourself a journal and begin to write down these topics that we share with you already, but I want to make sure that you got them down. I want you to write down, where are you financially at this point? Where are you? You got to know where you are, right? Write it down. I get people that tell me I don't have to write things down. I can put this on my iPhone. Or I got a good memory too. I don't have to write it down. I'm going to tell you something right now that nothing happens until you write it down. Something magical happens when you transfer your thoughts into paper. That's been said many, many, many years ago, okay? Something happens, something magical happens. So write down where you are financially at this point in your life. Then secondly, I want you to write down, where do I want to be financially by December 31st, 2021? I want you to be specific. Where would you like to be December 31st of 2021? And then the third topic that I want you to write down will be, what does true financial security look like to me? Close your eyes, do that exercise, and I'll guarantee you one thing, that you will be super motivated, because you know, maybe for once in your life, some people may say, and people have told me this, they have a plan. And once you have a plan of knowing where you are and where you want to go, then that journey to get there gets easier. So I want you to really, really do that exercise. And then what I like to do at this point, I would like to give you some kind of tips, okay? Well, some of the things that you need to start doing if you haven't done it yet. And you know what? I think Jordan just basically went through it basically, and I want to go through it in a little more detail. Question number one that I had you write down is where you are financially. I want you to really do a budget. And that means that I want you to figure out, well, you probably know by heart, I hope, how much money you net after taxes and after deductions like retirement plan deductions, health insurance deductions. How much are you bringing home every 2 weeks or once a month? What is your net income per month? You need to put it down. I don't care whether you're going to get a raise in the future. It is now. Now is the time. This is the present. Where are you financially at this point? And then I want you to be real and find out all the outflows, whatever goes out of that money each and every month. For example, it could be mortgage on your home. It could be rental if you don't own a home. If you have a car, it could be a car loan that you're paying. I want you to add up all the credit cards that you have and how much money you are really spending total on all those credit cards that you have to pay each and every month. How much do you pay on utilities, like water, heating, things like that? And then how about car insurance? We all have to have that, right? How much do you spend each and every month on car insurance? How about groceries when you go out? I mean, you have to have a budget. Find out. I mean, if you don't know, you know what? I hope you're using a checking account. And you can actually go back to your register or go online and add up all the trips that you make to that grocery store. Add them up and put it down. How much money do you spend on gasoline? How about cell phones? How much money do you spend on that? How about internet, cable? How about medical and dental expenses not covered by insurance, like copays? And then put down any other monthly expenditures that you may have, whether it is a student loan, helping out a family member, it doesn't matter. Put it down. You need to know where you are. You are taking an x-ray of your financial situation at this point. That's what I want you to do. Please. You need to know where you are. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to add them all up and subtract your expenses from the net income that you are making each and every month. And find out how much money you have left. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the night over. Some of you will find that you have nothing left. That means that you're living paycheck to paycheck. And if that's the case, our help, our podcasts, our telephone number, or website that we have could be of tremendous advantage to you. Some of you may find that you have money left over, but you don't know where it goes. Hey, Jordan, do you remember that doctor couple that came to our office about 2 or 3 years ago? And they were making like, God, I think each one of them was making like $500,000 a year. Think about that. And when we asked them the same question, didn't we? Okay, you're making $1 million a year. Okay, let's cut it down to monthly. And then what is your expenses? And I said, well, you got over, it was like thousands of dollars left over each and every month, right?
Right.
And what did they say? I mean, it just completely blew my mind. When I said, what happened to this thousands of dollars that you have left over each and every month? You know what they said to me? I don't know if you remember this, Jordan.
Yeah,
said,
it evaporated.
It evaporates. Can you believe that? How could thousands of dollars, and this is real. This is a real story. Husband and wife here in Colorado, doctors making that kind of money, having thousands of dollars a month left over. And they didn't know where the money went. And their answer was, well, it just evaporates. Evaporates? I mean, is your money evaporating? That's what I want to find out. I think you need to find out. Is your money evaporating? Or are you living paycheck to paycheck? Because you're carrying a lot of debt. Then, I want you to do me a favor, please. Look at your assets, whatever you have saved. Do you have a savings account? How much do you have? You know, I believe, and I know Jordan believes on this too, that you should have an emergency fund at the local bank or credit union. I know that they're not paying much on interest, but you need to have a bank account with at least minimum 3 months worth of expenses or income. That should be an emergency fund. Just in case something happens, like a pandemic, or you get furloughed, or you get laid off. You're gonna have enough money to survive for at least 3 months before you find another avenue to start being employed again and make money. So savings accounts, do you have a savings account? How much money do you have? And that could include, by the way, CDs or money market accounts. Then what about 401ks? Do you have a 401k, or do you have a retirement plan with your company? Or do you have a retirement plan from an older employer that's just sitting there? How much do you have? I want you to really find out where you are financially. How much do you have in your present retirement accounts right now with your current employer? How much money you have on your maybe retirement accounts that you had from previous employers? And then I want you to really add up your assets and include, by the way, your mortgage. If you own a home, and if you have rental property, include them. And then find out what you really are worth. Take your assets minus your liabilities that you have, like car loans, credit cards, and all that. Your short-term or long-term liabilities, and you're going to find your net worth. I need to know where you are. I mean, if you were my client, which I hope you do become our client, because we can take you by the hand and help you and find out where you are. What's your net worth? Now, we're closing into our final break. And when we come back, I'm going to ask Jordan, to kind of explain to you if you have some debt, real briefly, not with a lot of detail, but this is part of your plan for 2021. Because most people have debt. I would say 9 out of 10 people that we meet have debt, some kind of debt. And Jordan has a phenomenal product and financial plan planning software that we can help you get out of debt, including your mortgages, very, very quickly. So I want him to come back after the break and we can share that with you, and then we'll talk some more a little bit as to how you can get a hold of us. Okay. Thank you for listening, and we'll be right back.
If what you thought to be true about money turned out not to be true, when would you like to know about it? Most of us have been taught wrong about money either by our family or friends. Our school system does not have any curriculum to teach us how money really works and how to make our money grow without risk in any economy. By tuning into Become the Banker radio show with certified financial planner Joseph Quijano, you'll learn the truth about money and strategies to help you grow your money without risk. Are you ready to thrive financially in the economy? Listen for Become the Banker radio show every Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific.
Hello, I'm consumer advocate Tom Martino. For years, I've been telling you about a safe, secure investment that you can do for as little as $200 a month. Earnings grow tax-free. And better than that, during this recent stock market crash, they did not lose a penny. Even though investments hit all-time lows, those involved in Become the Banker are still earning their guaranteed return of 4% tax-free plus a 1% dividend. Isn't it time you at least investigate and possibly become the banker yourself? In a nutshell, you overfund life insurance on purpose to build tax-sheltered cash for retirement and for loaning to yourself for life's needs and pleasures, college, credit card debt, a mortgage. They can all be paid when you become the banker. Do yourself a favor. At least find out more. BecomeTheBanker.org. For the next webinar, that's BecomeTheBanker.org. And for a video review, BecomeTheBanker.info. It's time to take action and stop your losses. BecomeTheBanker.org.
This is the Become the Banker Show with certified financial planner Joseph Quijano. To participate in today's show, join our live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also ask or comment by email to joseph@becomethebanker.org or text to 303-880-0887.
Welcome back, and ladies and gentlemen, this is our last leg of the show today. And like I said, I want to have my son explain to you a little bit about the phenomenal software package that we have. But before I do that real quickly, I'd like to just say thank you for listening to us. Thank you for some of you that have gone to our YouTube channel and subscribe to it, like us, hit that notification bell, because we put a video each and every single Monday with wonderful advice. So go to go on YouTube and search Become the Banker and become one of our family members. And thank you for allowing us to be in your home today and listen to our podcast. So Jordan, take it away, please.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this goes to a little bit earlier to what I was already speaking about in the show here, which is, just a few different ways of having a kind of a plan put in place to pay off those debts. I talked about snowballing debt, the avalanche approach of paying off debt. And really, kind of what we do is we take a combination of those two approaches and combine them with our system, and with the Become the Banker, system we have in place, we deal with putting that money into a safe place that's guaranteed to grow interest. It has liquidity access to it so you can use it. But most of all, what we do is we show people how to leverage that money, use against it, not from it. So instead of borrowing money like out of your savings account, if you have $10,000 and you take $5,000 out to pay off a credit card, you're usually only left with the $5,000. Yes, the debt's paid off, but now you only have $5,000 in savings or in whatever investment you might have taken that from. And the worst part about that is that money's gone forever. It's never going to earn you interest again. It's never going to make money for you again. So that's what we call the lost opportunity cost, which is what could your money have made you had you left it in that account, even if it was only earning you 1% at the bank for the rest of your life. That's still money that you have to consider. So a lot of people, They either charge credit cards and pay interest by borrowing money, or they pay cash because they don't like to use anybody's interest, and they lose interest because that money will never work for them again. This is why our economy is in such a bad state, because you either pay interest or you lose interest. Either side of the equation is a lose lose situation. So, with the Become the Banker strategy, our whole focus is to make sure that your money is always working for you going forward. Once you have the money in the policy or the account, whatever you want to call it, as it grows, it's going to keep on growing. It's going to stay tax free, and it grows at a guaranteed interest rate. But the best part is when you want to use it, you don't have to lose it like you would anywhere else. Here, when you use it, like I mentioned before, you're borrowing against it, not from it. So you're leveraging it. And this is how we really show people how to get out of debt, by using not only the snowball approach or the avalanche approach, but we take it a step further by making sure the money that you're using to pay off those debts, whether it's a credit card, a mortgage, a vehicle, and then eventually a house and a student loan, once you pay those debts off through the process, you could typically get out of debt in 9 years or less. And that's, like I said, with your house, student loans, vehicles, credit cards, all paid off and owned outright with your name and your title. So, this is a great way, a great approach to get those debts under control. Have that fresh start, then that fresh slate for 2021, or at least a roadmap on how you're going to have that fresh slate, and put that foot in position so you can take the next step. Because as you take the step forward on each debt that you pay off, you're going to be closer to that financial freedom. That is the biggest goal for, I think, probably about 99% of us, would be that to have financial freedom, where you have control of your own money, you have the ability to make your own financial decisions, you can purchase what you'd like without having to go through processes of checking your credit or getting approved or denied by the banks. You want to have your money stay tax free, grow guaranteed. You don't have anybody else taking it away from you. That's financial freedom. And that's what this whole program offers, is that ability to provide your own financial freedom, your own account that's away from the banks and away from the government. And it's 100% legal. It's written into the IRS code. And that's the best part, is you're just using this account to really get ahead financially, but more so reset yourself so that you don't have those debts weighing you down for 10, 20, or 30 years. I just had a couple literally on Friday, which would have been 2 days ago, 3 days ago, from when we had this podcast out. They came in to the office. Now, they've been a client of mine for about 8 years now, 7 years, and they've had three accounts that they've opened up, three policies that they've opened up, and they were able to pay off a few debts from there. But this debt was very special to them. They had a credit card that had close to about $23,000, $22,000 on it, and they paid it off. And I'm not going to say their names, but the husband looked across the table and spoke to his wife and said, isn't this great that we're actually finally paying off our our honeymoon that we took 20 years ago? I mean, this is the card that they put their honeymoon on when they got married 20 years ago, and they've been trying to pay it off, but then debts got accrued over the years because new debts came up, so it kind of got up and it went down, went up and went down, and all that time they're getting charged this compound interest from the credit card company, so they really never paid the card off, and it still had a high balance on it. I mean, 22, 23,000. So when he looked at us, myself, and then he looked at his wife. Oh, thank you guys so much. We'll see you next week.
Thank you for choosing to listen to Become the Banker radio show. Certified financial planner Joseph Quijano will return next Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific. Until then, remember, rich people think like rich people. Poor people think like poor people.